And hello everybody! Welcome to today's race here at Talladega Superspeedway. First time ESPN will be partnering with the Gander Mountain Cup Series here today. ESPN will be broadcasting today's race, as you can already tell. Welcome to the Foretravel Motorcoach 300 here at Talladega Superspeedway. 19 laps of racing here at one of the longest superspeedways we have in the series. On pole for today's event, the 00 Dodge of Betty Johnson. Very mediocre this season, not terrible, but not great. But she'll be starting on pole alongside her on the front row. Last week's winner, the 70 of James Qualls in the Foretravel Motorcoach number 70. Here's the starting grid, and here's the command as well.
Drivers, start your engines!
As you can see on the left side of your screen, here's your starting grid. You can look through and find your favorite driver, the one you want to root for today. As in a second, we'll head on the track and show you some of our onboard cameras for today's race. First, the Foretravel Motorcoach on board of James Qualls. The Royal Purple on board, Betty Johnson. The Dollar General on board, Yumi Wakabayashi. The AARP Drive Dead Hunger on board, new sponsor for Gander this weekend. The USO on board for Jacob Crago. The Discount Tire on board for Ray Takeda. The Alert Today Alive Tomorrow on board for Kyle Anderson. And the Hefty on board for Darian Taylor. Look at some notable people in the field. Our current points leader, Jackie Tang, he will be starting near the rear of the field. I think that is 36th position. Tang did not have a good run. Has not had great runs recently, but he's been able to manage holding the points lead over the 04 of Joshua Michaels, who he'll be starting, I believe, mid-pack. Nope, he'll be starting even further back than Tang in today's race. Very unfortunate. So those two drivers are duking it out for first and second in the points. Last week's winner, Qualls. Some other drivers to point out. The 20 of Yu Wakabayashi, our winner at Phoenix, starts 4th. Our winner at Road America, who will start behind Tang, I think that is 34th position, to be, if I'm correct. 32nd. Tang starts 30th. 32nd for Wilson. And already went over Jacob Crago, who starts 6th. Alrighty, Betty Johnson on pole for today's event. In just a second here, pace car is going to come down pit road. Pace car is going to make the long dive down pit road, and there it goes. Green flag in the air. We are underway here in the Foretravel Motorcoach 300 at Talladega Superspeedway. Green flag. Oh, wait, forgot. You all forgot, didn't you, as well? That start-finish line isn't until turn 1. Now, green flag in the air, Foretravel Motorcoach 300 is green. 00 gets a good jump on the 70. Looks like the 20 came loose. Isn't going to get the full draft from the 70. That 00 car is strong, heading into the first few corners. Big lead. A track like Talladega, where the draft is so important. And here comes Donovan Updike up the inside. No, and Betty Johnson will go and block. Betty Johnson, a big lead here today, so far. None of the other lines are even working. It is all the 00 so far in this race. Coming around the tri-oval, coming to the start-finish line, which is in turn 1. Fun fact for you, Brian France Sr., the founder of this track, he wanted to make a track in comparison to Daytona. So he noticed Daytona's ticket sales would not sell in turn number 1, but would always sell right at the top tip of the tri-oval where the start-finish line was. So when he built Talladega, he did not put the start-finish line in the tri-oval. He instead put it in front of turn 1, increasing ticket sales over there and increasing ticket sales across the entire track. Great idea by Mr. France Sr. As Donovan Updike's going to look to make a move once again, but he will not do it on this lap. Lap 2 of 19 here. Betty Johnson, you're still your leader. No one's really making any moves so far in this race. It's just been one line, single file. I can't even see an outside line. Donovan Updike reluctant to make a move. Same with Ray Tackett. And there goes Zachary Fitzwater to the inside, along with the number 9 car. There goes Tackett and Darian Taylor up high, but they're going to fall back in line. I think the 43 will as well. 43 is going to push the 22 out of line. 22 might have just lost the draft. Now it's just a 0-0 and the 89 all on their lonesomes. Here comes the 43 and the 9. 22 and the 14 just got forced up to the high side. They're going to have to start a new line up there. Looks like we're 3 wide and near the rear of the field. Everyone's really just driving very cautiously out here in the super speedway track, which is very rare. Unusual as well. The 89, there goes the 43 to the inside. Will the 43 be able to make the pass? 70 of James Qualls to help. But 70 will fall back, so will the 43. 9's going to slide back into its 4th position, and they will remain single file heading in to turns 3 and 4. There they go onto the inside. Once again. No moves. If you cannot tell already, it's a very difficult track to conquer. As the 43 of Zachary Fitzwater is obviously learning that. He's having trouble at super speedways as all. Overall, he had the speed at Daytona, led a couple laps, got passed by Joshua Michaels, got shuffled out of the mix. Now same situation here. Has the speed to get up front, but just can't work the draft and get it done. There goes Ian Siegel peeking to the inside. Same with James Qualls. The 9 of Robert Stewart almost wants to peek to the outside lane. Qualls will retain his 3rd position, as Betty Johnson will increase her lead over the 89 of Donovan Updike, driving a new paint scheme this weekend. Racing with Jesus will no longer sponsor the 89 car for the remainder of their season. AARP Drive and Hunger will be on the number 89. That royal purple Dodge up front once again. Nobody threatening to pass. Thought a lot more excitement would come out of this race. More wrecking, more passing. But no one seems to be working the draft in that 2-line form like it was meant to run. Everybody's just using the single file format, 1 through 6. There goes James Qualls once again going to try the inside line. And he's going to realize it can't work. And nope, he's going to force he's going to force 2 lines now. Betty Johnson all on her lonesome up front. And James Qualls is now going to work with Ian Siegel and Yui Wakabayashi to pass Donovan Updike and Zachary Fitzwater. We are now 2 wide out of that corner. James Qualls is now going to use both drafts to try to pass the 0-0. How about that? 3's working with the 70. 3 trying to regain what he missed out last week at Richmond. Got passed by the 70, ironically enough. 4 laps to go, and lost the race. Still a good point stay for the 3 team as they moved up significantly. And they want to get in victory lane. 0-0 dominant right now. No one passing. There goes the 20. 3 up high. And they're going to fall back in line. Nope, 20's going to try to shuffle the 3 out. And she will. Yui Wakabayashi shuffles Ian Siegel out of the mix. Ian Siegel's going to have to fall back a little bit. As that brings Zachary Fitzwater and Donovan Updike back into the mix. Ian Siegel's going to fall back to about 6th place, right in front of Ray Takeda, who just can't get the speed. Yui was going to try again there, realized she didn't have enough time, fell back in line. There's a 7-car single file line, and then the rest of the field is way out of the mix, and a jumbled up pile back there. Nobody wants to make a move here. Everybody's scared that if they make a move, it'll be the wrong time and they'll lose the draft, or they'll wreck. Now Yui Wakabayachi's going to try again to the inside line. Donovan Updike to follow. Ian Siegel to follow. Ray Takeda will go down there as well. Back to a two-line format behind Betty Johnson, who increases her lead over that pack. And may be able to run like Jimmy Johnson has ran previously and run single car. That 70 looks like it wants to pass up on the high line. Yui Wakabayashi tries to help the high line and bring James Qualls up there. But nothing seems to be working. Nobody can catch the 00. Now we're on lap 9 of 19 here at Talladega. 00. An even bigger lead than before. Ahead of both the 89 and the 20 right now. Now the 89 is going to work with the 3. 89 trying to catch on to the bumper of the 00 by working the draft in his advantage. And it looks like once again, just like before, everybody just falls back in one line. You'll see here if that's the case, as Donovan Updike inches closer and closer using the draft to the bumper of the 00. And I think on this turn is when he's really going to get it done. They are now a 3-car tandem of the 00, the 89, and the 3. The 70 trying to latch onto the back of the 3 and get that draft. I think Donovan Updike knows what he's doing. Here he goes. And I think we're about single file except for the 20 of Yui Wakabayashi, who's stuck up on the outside line, going to probably fall back and take 7th place. Donovan Updike still reluctant to make a move. Will it take another car to try again to pass this 00? No one. There goes James Qualls once again. Let's see if it'll work this time. Ian Siegel peaks high, Qualls peaks low. Will they go too wide? Yes. Too wide into turn 3. Once again. Double zero leads. Once again, 89 cannot get up there. Neither can the 70 of James Qualls. It seems to be the 00, and that everybody after 00 is shuffling around constantly. 89 yet to make a move. Donovan Updike holding his position very well. Almost as if he's trying to do what Troy Kang did. Just say, hey, look, I'm not out here to win a race. I'm out here to earn points, and that's all that matters. I'm not going to risk it making a dumb move. And there goes Yui Wakabayashi up the inside. Will she get a partner? James Qualls to help. Donovan Updike looks high. Yui Wakabayashi slides back in. James Qualls will slide back in. Nope, we're going to go too wide here, folks. Donovan Updike to the high side. James Qualls on the low side. James Qualls will pass Updike. James Qualls will use Yui Wakabayashi and Zachary Fitzwater to get more ground on that 00. We'll have to see if the high line is working here, as these cars are about to come up on the number 12 of Eugene the Max. I'm not sure what's going on with him. He's about to be a lap down, apparently. He must have taken a pit stop due to something earlier in the race. That 00 is definitely dominant. There goes the 20, once again to the inside. 70 peaks high. Will we go too wide into the corner? Yes. 00 is trying to look for a way around the 12. This would be the perfect time for people to shift up to the high line and try to make that work. Nobody threatening the 00. That number 12, up high, blocking the high line. There's no room to make a pass right now. That might have just caused the entire field to go too wide, except for the lead car, Betty Johnson. With 6 laps to go, no one is even trying. Or they just can't get the speed. One or the other. 20 car of Yui Wakabayashi looks like she is trying so hard. And there goes the 43. Will Fitzwater get a partner? Looks like he's going to try to fall in front of and use the 22 of Ray Takeda to his advantage. And he's going to pass Yui Wakabayashi and try to catch Johnson. And James Qualls looking like he's going to try to chip down to the bottom line, see if he can get any work done there. Nobody. There goes James Qualls, 3 wide. 3 wide heading into that turn. And that's going to shuffle Ray Takeda out of the mix. It looks like it's just this clump, and then it's a bunch of other cars well out of the mix. Today's race has definitely come down to about 7 cars here. And nobody, out of this entire group of 7, plus the number 12 Eugene the Max back there, has yet to make a move, trying to pass. They've been making moves to pass each other, not the 00. Some moves for the better, some for the worse, but nothing for the lead. James Paul is now going to come into second place. That second place spot has probably seen all of those drivers one point or another during this race. And that 70 car is going to try to charge the 00, and once it gets up there, it's going to hold position. And that's been the strategy for second place all day. Just hold your ground, and maybe a chance will come. Donovan Updike to the inside. Will use Yui Wakabayashi to help. This might be the chance. What those 6 drivers need that are short of Betty Johnson need to form on the outside line and pass that car. I think the 70 of James Qualls is trying to make sure they don't do that by putting a barrier to keep Yui Wakabayashi out of that, which is causing Donovan Updike not wanting to shift up. James Qualls definitely going to fall back a little bit. Going to have to use Zachary Fitzwater to pick up some spots. Donovan Updike closer on Betty Johnson than he ever has before in this race. Yui Wakabayashi up high. Eugene the Max now coming up to help Updike. Updike now going to slow down a little bit. Maybe looking to make a pass here? No, Betty Johnson will hug the inside line. No one making a pass. We are back to single file racing with the exception of the 70 of James Qualls, who's just sitting there up on the high line, falling back. That lap down car of Eugene the Max, it doesn't have much to do. Now it's going to try and get its lap back. It dives to the inside, and nobody wants to help it. There goes Ian Siegel going to look on the inside. Now we're going to go 2 wide here again, folks. Everyone holding the same position. James Qualls is really far back on the field now. Eugene the Max, the lap down car. What's it going to try and do? It's got all the momentum this race has in its hand right now. Everything relies on Eugene the Max. Will Eugene the Max try to make a move and lead the entire field with him? Let's try to see here. It seems every time we come into turn number 1, it's single file. Every time we come into turn number 3, it's double file. Except for that lead car, who has not moved, and there goes the 43 and the 22. Both to the inside. 22 is going to come back. 3 is going to try to stay up high. It looks like we might go into this turn 3 wide. We will. And they're going to take it back to 2 wide. As it's now Eugene the Max and Betty Johnson. Eugene the Max not fighting for victory, but fighting to gain a lap. 2 to go this time by. When we hit the stripe, Ray Takeda sits back in the 3rd spot right now, trying to see what she can do to get herself into the mix here. Score is 2nd, but it says 3rd. Zachary Fitzwater, 4th in that line, 3rd on the scoring sheet. James Qualls 5th in line as he dives to the inside. Is he going to get a partner? Or is he just going to have to fall back? Zachary Fitzwater's peeking up high. Everyone's going to fall back. Single file for this turn. It looks like Yui Wakabayashi is going to try to go up. That's Zachary Fitzwater up there as well. Yui Wakabayashi has lost the draft completely along with that 89, which is now moving back up. And that's the 3 of Ian Siegel, who also lost the draft completely. Coming to the white flag this time by Betty Johnson, the dominating car today. Nobody even threatening to pass Betty Johnson. This is just like what we saw at Orlando a couple weeks ago. Nobody wanted to pass Jacob Crago. So everybody just held their ground and said, you know what? Second is good. And if you didn't want to hold your ground, you came down pit road quickly because that track was rough. Last chance to pass Betty Johnson. James Qualls to the inside. Looks to make a move. Will not make it. Eugene DeMax, only chance left to bring this field a different winner today. Will not change lanes. Will hug against that line. Betty Johnson is probably headed to victory lane today for the first time in her career. Just like at Orlando, a Dodge headed back to victory lane. Once again, Dodge dominates the entire race, and Dodge is what's going to get a victory. Betty Johnson wins her first career race in the Gander Mountain Cup Series and wins the Foretravel Motorcoach 300 at Talladega. Great job by Betty Johnson winning the event. Let's take a look at your official scoreboard now. Betty Johnson, your winner by a long shot today, folks. Ray Takeda will get credited for second. Good job. James Qualls third. Zachary Fitzwater fourth. Yui Wakabayashi fifth. Donovan Updike sixth. And Ian Siegel seventh. Those 7 cars battling up front with help from the lap down car of Eugene DeMax, who I'll get to in a minute. For the cars that were shoveled out of the mix, there were a lot of them, if you could not tell. Kyle Keith was the highest of those finishers. He finished 8th. Eric Steinmetz 9th. Maximus Falks around at the top 10 and 10th. Kev Shearer 11th. Kyle Anderson 12th. Robert Stewart 13th. Ray Jones 14th. Captain Marvelous 15th. Luis Hernandez 16th. Darian Taylor 17th. Amy Appleman 18th. Jacob Crago 19th. And Alex Tanker 20th. Ian Dutta 21st. Austin Wilson 22nd. Ryan Wilson 23rd. Matty Spaiva 24th. My apologies. Joshua Blackheart 25th. Barry Baker 26th. Calventius Proximus 27th. Joshua Michaels 28th. That is ahead of the points leader. That is Jackie Tang, who we'll get to in a minute. Troy Kang 29th. Alex Hawkins 30th. Cody Lamas 31st. Junior McMillan 32nd. Henrietta Fitzwater 33. Anthony Rickey 34. Topanga Wilson 35. Brendan Nichols, in his first start in the series, he replaced the old 31 driver Ish Taylor. That's a unique story. We'll get to in a minute. Haru Takanawa, who had some great runs last few weeks, that's going to come to an end this week. 37th place, Jackie Tang 38th, and Eugene DeMax finishes 2 laps down in 39th. Now on to the 31 story, as we'll get to now. 31 of Brendan Nichols. Brendan Nichols replaced Ish Taylor after last week's race at Richmond. Ish Taylor asked for some time off due to an emergency family situation. Turner Scott Motorsports would not allow it, and she demanded it, so therefore she requested her release unconditionally. Terms of the situation were not disclosed besides the fact that it was an emergency release. Brendan Nichols was added. He has some prior NR 2000 free experience, but not a whole lot. Eugene DeMax really worked hard today at that 39th position, helping everybody else, but just couldn't get the help where he needed it to. Jackie Tang, in 38th place, the last finishing car on the lead lap. He finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spots behind Joshua Michaels. With that calculations, folks, I believe, and I am not confident, I believe Joshua Michaels is your new points leader. I do not know, but click the link in the description. That will lead you to the standings once this race is available, and it will show you the complete standings. I believe Joshua Michaels might just be your new points leader, but we'll soon find out when the points are released, and we'll soon see you again for ESPN's second broadcast of the Gander Mountain Cup Series, coming to you next week from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. Our first trip out of the U.S. this season, as we'll head up there for the Royal Purple 225. We'll see you then, folks. Until then, have a good day.